A year ago, I couldn't finish anything I started. So I read every major Stoic text I could find, looking for one real answer on discipline. Not quotes, not vibes, an actual mechanism. 3 months and a stack of books later, I found three things that changed how I operate. Two of them, not what you'd expect. When I say every Stoic text, here's what that means. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, notes he wrote to himself, never meant for anyone to read. Seneca's Letters from a Stoic. Epictetus's Discourses, and the Enchiridion, his greatest hits, put together by a student. I wasn't looking for inspiration. I'd had plenty. None of it stuck longer than a week. I wanted to know if there was an actual system underneath the quotes people put on posters. Turns out, yeah. It's just not the part anyone quotes. Here's the version of Stoic discipline everyone already knows. Cold plunge at 5 a.m. A quote slapped over a shirtless gym selfie. Suffer on purpose so life's suffering doesn't scare you. It's become an aesthetic, a costume you put on to look disciplined. And I don't think that's fake, just incomplete. None of that stuff is why the Stoics thought discipline worked. The cold plunge isn't the point, it's a prop. Discipline was never about toughness. It's a completely different relationship to your own mind. That's the part none of these quote graphics mention. The first thing that actually changed something, Epictetus calls it the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to you, some aren't. Your effort, your attention, your choices, up to you. The outcome, how people react, whether it succeeds, not up to you. Here's why that hit me. When I couldn't finish things, it wasn't willpower. I was quietly grading my effort by the outcome. Video didn't do well? The work felt wasted, so why finish the next one? Epictetus would say, you're trying to control something that was never yours to control. The second I started judging myself only on the up to me column, did I show up? Did I do the work? Finishing stopped being a fight. It became the next thing on the list. Second finding, this one surprised me because it goes against productivity culture. It's called Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils. Seneca did this constantly. Before starting something, he'd deliberately picture it going wrong. Not to spiral, to rehearse it calmly, so failure couldn't ambush him later. That's the opposite of what we're told. Visualize success. Picture the win. Seneca's doing the reverse, picturing the setback on purpose while calm enough to think about it. I tried it before a project I was dreading. I wrote out specifically what failure would look like. It lost its grip almost immediately. It wasn't scary anymore because I'd actually looked at it. The fear was never coming from the outcome. It was coming from refusing to look. Third one, this actually changed my behavior, not just my thinking. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius writes to himself about not wanting to get out of bed. The most powerful man in Rome, giving himself a pep talk just to start his day. He tells himself, you weren't made to lie under the blankets, you were made to work. Not out of guilt, just as a fact about what he is. So I stole his move. Every morning before I open my laptop, I write one line. What's today's work, and why am I built to do it? Not finish it, just start it. I stopped trying to solve finishing and focused only on starting today's piece. A year ago, I couldn't finish anything. Turns out, I was failing at the first 5 minutes. Every single day. I want to be honest about where this falls apart. That Instagram version isn't wrong about everything. Stoicism was never built for burnout or grief or a body that genuinely needs rest, not more discipline. Marcus Aurelius had an empire's worth of resources behind his just start mindset. Using this as a substitute for sleep, therapy, or just being a person with real limits, that's where it goes wrong. It's not a cheat code. It won't override exhaustion. What it actually is a way to stop lying to yourself about why you're stuck. Smaller than the internet version, but the only part that's actually true. So if you take one thing, forget the cold plunges, forget the quotes, take the dichotomy of control. Before you start anything today, ask, which part is actually up to me? Do that part. Let the rest go. That's the whole system underneath 3 months of reading. I'm going to keep pulling apart what actually works versus what just looks good on a poster. If that's useful, stick around for the next one. No hype, just what actually holds up.